turn this into something positive and maybe it'll spread.
He's the most positive person on his job.
Now you're cured.
I feel good.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Positively Milwaukee. Sometimes a small act can generate huge returns. And this morning, you're going to meet a Milwaukee woman opening her heart to help families of sick kids, her inspiration, and how we can all do our part.
Did you know that the Ronald McDonald House Charities of Eastern Wisconsin collects pop tabs to raise funds that help keep families together?
It's billed as Rachel's Remedy Pop Tops for Kids. It's a mission to fill up these jugs with aluminum tabs in more than 200 bars and restaurants in Milwaukee.
I started collecting the can tops a while back, and I would just collect them on my shift.
The goal? Recycle the aluminum to raise money for the Ronald McDonald House.
It's a simple act, and I'm just hoping to help out as many people as I can with it.
We met Rachel Allen at the Sabbatic Bar where she works. Allen learned years ago how important the Ronald McDonald House is to families with sick kids.
There's a personal story behind why you are doing this, Rachel. Can you talk about that?
I have an aunt and uncle that live up in Wisconsin Rapids, and my aunt was pregnant with twins, and she went into very premature labor. And so she had to come down to Fredert and Children's. My aunt and uncle ended up staying in Milwaukee for close to like 3.5 months, but Ronald McDonald House helped them out immensely.
As a cancer survivor herself, Allen knows the extra support needed for families and patients.
I had a carcinoid tumor in my intestines. They found it because I felt like I had, the stomach flu for a couple weeks. And they went in and did some labs and found out that it was a carcinoid tumor. And so they removed 21 centimeters of my small intestine, 3 inches of my colon, and my appendix. I was fortunate enough to not have to go through chemo or radiation. They caught it super early, which is a huge thing.
The compassion of others helped Rachel make it through that tough time.
It really kind of showed me, even the people that are around me that I don't talk to every day or anything like that, they reached out and they wanted to make sure that I was okay or if I needed anything, or you could just kind of feel the positive vibes. I know that sounds silly, but it's true. And I think it definitely helped out a lot.
And that keeps Rachel reaching out to others. Colleagues at the bar and on Milwaukee actually started Rachel's Remedy in her honor.
My friend Molly, who works for On Milwaukee, and one of the other co-workers here, Randy, decided that it was a really good idea and it takes 2 seconds for a bartender to do. So they wanted to make it a bigger project and see what we could do for Ronald McDonald House.
The Ronald McDonald House website notes pop tops from aluminum cans have generated more than $375,000 since the year 2000.
This is overwhelming to the fact of I really can't wait to see this ripple become a huge wave. And if we can get a jug in every bar or, a couple bars and get this going, it's going to do great things.
The funds raised from pop tabs helps to provide a home away from home for families when they need it most.
And Rachel is hoping to get these jugs in at least 200 bars. Now, you can help by collecting your own pop tabs or by putting a jug in your restaurant bar. If you'd like more information, you can go to Rachel's Remedy Facebook page. We do have a link. Just go to tmj4.com/links. Finding a summer job, it's a rite of passage for most teens. Leaders at Running Rebels are hoping their summer employment program puts kids on a lifelong trail to success. Charles Benson has that story.
Ask Michaela Sledge what she's been working on this summer, and you might get 3 or 4 different answers.
We've been doing all types of different tasks.
She and Cortez Oglesby are part of Running Rebels' summer employment program. They do everything from gardening.
So I'm out there, taking out the weeds, planting in new stuff,
to park cleanups, and even informative pop-ups explaining the COVID vaccine.
To hopefully get some of the apprehensiveness away from the vaccine.
This is a true job experience.
This is Dawn Barnett, co-executive director of Running Rebels. She made clear this is no unpaid internship. All 68 young people working for Dawn this summer make a $10 hourly wage.
We wanted to provide young people with not only money to manage, but the tools to manage that.
So learning about how to save my money, where to put my money at, just how to be successful with it.
To get that paycheck, you have to earn it. Dawn sees plenty of adults who don't have good job skills or work ethic.
We wanted to start early to make sure they had an experience that was realistic and also had the flexibility to teach and to coach.
Starting kids young on learning job skills isn't Dawn's only goal. She wants to make sure they can manage their emotions at work and everywhere else.
How young people handle themselves in high stress situations can really mean the difference between life or death.
Being able to learn how to, deal with people better, be able to take a deep breath and calm down, be able to just be mindful about my surroundings, who I'm with, how I display myself.
Cortez and Michaela plan to take those new skills and give back to their community.
I want to help people the way that Running Rebels helped me. I want to hopefully get their mindsets out of that negative space and into a more positive one.
A cycle of goodness. Michaela and Cortez have done so well in the summer employment program. They've been promoted, and they both plan to stay on during the school year to keep learning and help other young kids grow. Like that. Well, are you doing work around the house but you don't have that tool you need? Mary Jo Ola shows us how people in Shorewood are opting not to buy but borrow.
So I'd been thinking about a power washer, and I was probably going to rent it, and I thought somebody must have a power washer. How would I find out how somebody has that?
That question, combined with inspiration from public tool sheds, led Scott Yanoff to launch ShorewoodShed.org. Scott created the website to simply bring together Shorewood residents happy to loan items with those looking to borrow. It's known as crowd lending.
Our most popular category would be tools. So that would be things like hand tools. There's a lot of saws in there. A lot of lawn and garden equipment, medical equipment, recreation equipment. There's board games in there.
Residents visit the site, see if the item they need is listed, and contact the neighbor over email or Facebook. People can also offer an item to loan.
Before I go onto Amazon, I literally just check the Shorewood Shed to see if it's available first before I buy anything.
Caroline Kreitlow first heard about the shed on Facebook and found it useful several times, most recently when she needed a jigsaw.
It's not only is it really nice to save money, but it builds community. It's really nice because Shorewood's only 1 square mile, and it's really nice to just show up to someone's house I've never met before and be like, oh, you're my neighbor. Thanks for borrowing me this.
Another benefit, sustainability.
If you can borrow an item instead of buying it, you are not adding to the consumer society where you're creating something that eventually becomes a product that's thrown away.
Just return it when you're done, and everybody's really respectful about it. It's a really nice thing to have.
About 1 year into it, Scott hopes the shed continues to grow.
I would just encourage people to examine the website, even if they don't live in Shorewood, because it could be a model that I'd be willing to help others with in other parts of this community.
I just love that idea. And power tools, as we know, can be expensive, so anything that brings a community together and saves money, well, that is a bonus. They're the marvels of nature, and some people are seeing what's behind the surge of monarch butterflies in one local community. Plus, young women training for careers you might not expect.
And we are more than capable to do it. You just have to believe in yourself.
Welcome back to Positively Milwaukee. Not long ago, young girls were steered toward careers like teaching and nursing. Fast forward to 2021 and young ladies are finding new opportunities. A local Girl Scout program called Camp Hero is giving girls a chance to explore jobs as first responders. That camp recently took place at MATC in Oak Creek, and now more young ladies are having a chance to save a life.
Straight. Straight. Straight.
Training at the Milwaukee Fire Academy is not just for the men. More and more females are climbing the ladder of success, learning first responder skills, all thanks to Camp Hero.
You could actually end up saving a life. That has to make you feel good.
Yeah, it does.
This camp lets girls see that they have the ability to do those first responder careers.
Sponsored by Girl Scouts Wisconsin Southeast, Camp Hero began in 2016. Lieutenant Phil Cockcroft at the Milwaukee Fire Department has been working with camp leaders since it began.
It's really taken off and helped us tremendously, especially with our recruitment efforts when it comes to our fire cadet program here in Milwaukee Fire Department, because we actually have a paid apprenticeship program that's a pathway to a career in the fire service. So this is, for many young ladies, the first introduction to this type of career and to see if this is really for them or not. And then they actually have that pathway that they can sign up for the senior year of high school. So it's worked out really well for us.
From firefighters to police officers to paramedics, girls gain insight into various careers. Girl Scouts Community Programs Manager Marta Carrion explains.
What is needed to become a police officer, or maybe if I want to do emergency medical. Maybe I don't want to become a doctor, but I still like the medicine area, the area of helping other people. Well, there are options and alternatives, and through this program, the girls can actually do that.
20-year-old Mackenzie Berlin graduated from Reagan High School in 2019, and she's now a Milwaukee Fire Cadet.
Did you find that you got more self-esteem after going through this program?
Yes, when I academically, I always thought I would be fine through going through the program. I always thought the EMS stuff was really interesting. Physically, I did not think I was going to be capable, but over the last 2 years, I've improved greatly, and now I feel very comfortable. And obviously, there's so much more stuff I have to learn, but I feel very comfortable where I am and what I can do. Genuinely, it was the variety of things that we got taught. It was the EMS, it was the firefighting, and it was the police. And so prior to me going into the program, I didn't have any idea of what I wanted to do. So I really enjoyed the EMS and the fire side. The police was cool, but it wasn't for me. But overall, it was a great experience to kind of learn every single thing I could have went into and the opportunity that I got from it.
We also throw in our 911 dispatchers who teach a communication class. We teach classes that obviously involve EMS on the fire side for EMT and paramedic, along with firefighting, of course. But we also combine and do one big activity for active shooter, which obviously deals with a lot of what goes on in society today. And what we do as first responders when we go to those calls and actually put the girls into those type of scenarios, and they really enjoy it. So it really gets a chance for them to see what we do and see if this is really for them.
Elizabeth Canadis from Whitnall High School attended Camp Hero 3 summers in a row.
It's so much fun. You get to experience so many things. You also get to meet the swim and dive team of Milwaukee. You get to go on the Milwaukee Police boats. We go around the lake, which is so fun, and you get to see downtown Milwaukee, which is always super pretty.
This does not sound like your average camp.
No, it's so much fun. Oh my God.
8th grader Bridget Doan is a returning Camp Hero Scout.
It kind of shows you what they go through on a day-to-day basis, because you hear about how they go to this big fire, but you don't know what it takes to go to this big fire, and what they put on the line every day.
And I think that makes us better as a department to have that diversity, whether it's ethnic, whether it's gender. I think it works out when people can see when you're rolling around in a fire truck, folks that look like you, that are coming in your home, that are providing EMS services, that are fighting fires, that are doing rescue operations. All these things are things that people can do, but they need to learn about. And that's what's great about Camp Hero, because they get taught these things at a young age for young ladies, but they get taught by actual professionals, the first responders that serve the community. So that's why I really like being a part of this.
I would say sign up. There's nothing wrong with signing up. You have every chance to get in if you really want it, and it's something to try out. The fire department and the fire department everywhere is very male dominated, but women have every right to be on the job, and we are more than capable to do it. You just have to believe in yourself.
And Camp Hero helps ladies do just that. Just listen to Mackenzie Berlin's goal.
I'm gonna be running the department. One day, hopefully, top chief. Maybe 30 years from now, I'm gonna work as hard as I possibly can. That's the overall goal. But honestly, I wanna learn as many things as I possibly can over the next 30 years.
Now, don't you just love Mackenzie's determination? This happens to be the 5th year Girl Scouts Wisconsin Southeast has sponsored Camp Hero. Way to go. The monarch butterfly is one of the most beautiful creatures in the insect world, and they're pretty easy to spot in Shorewood. Katie Crowther tells us why.
If you want to see a monarch butterfly, don't chase, just wait. Heidi Peeler with the Shorewood Library has been working hard to make sure you see one.
we're trying to boost the population.
A few years ago, the library partnered with the Senior Resource Center to create the Shorewood Monarch Project.
To inform other people about the importance of monarchs and how endangered they were.
Which means Heidi spends a lot of time out in this garden, looking at the undersides of leaves. These teeny tiny white spots are monarch eggs. All summer, you can watch them hatch into caterpillars that eventually wrap themselves up into chrysalises and then emerge as beautiful butterflies.
For the kids who are slightly older, I actually have them take the butterfly out, put it on their finger, and let them choose a flower to put it on. And it's very exciting.
For those butterflies to do well after they're released, they need a garden full of native plants like this one. The more plant types, the longer the bloom time.
The more diversity we have, we would create a longer food line for them in the summer, and so we can attract different pollinators all throughout the course of the entire summer, as opposed to a more narrow planting spectrum that would have a shorter bloom time.
Ben Hubenick is a horticulturalist and the Shorewood Services foreman. He says the Monarch Project has spread far beyond the library and the Senior Resource Center.
We see more and more homeowners are getting involved and getting interested in planting native plants in their yard.
And the results are obvious. In 2018, Heidi helped release 1,600 monarchs. She released more than 2,000 in 2019.
And it's interesting because people will say, I see more monarchs in Shorewood than I've seen for years. And that's because so many people are working to increase the population.
Now, the gardens near the library are not the only ones filled with these native plants. Ben and Heidi told us most of the city's gardens and planter boxes are natives. They are better suited to Wisconsin weather extremes, and most importantly, they require less maintenance. It is always nice to get out and enjoy nature. After the break, we're going to show you a wilderness area that has earned an important honor. But first, let's meet our Positively Milwaukee Pet of the Week.
Hi, I'm Johanna Szymanski here at HAWS, the Humane Animal Welfare Society of Waukesha County, and today I have brought Benny. Benny is a 2-year-old mixed breed dog. He is super sweet and he loves his treats. He's very athletic and would do best as an only pet. He can get along with other dogs, but he had some behaviors in a previous home that did not go well when living with other resident animals. So we recommend that he is an only pet. He is very strong and smart and treat motivated. So he would do all the training, which he needs a little bit of. He's a little bit rough around the edges, but he is just the sweetest boy. And because of his strength and his need for training, we would recommend homes with older children. Although he's really good with kids, he definitely would do better in a home where the kids were a bit older. So if you would like to find out about Benny or any of the other pets here at HAWS, you can go to our website at hawspets.org, HAWSPETS.org, and keep an eye on the animals that we have here that are Positively Milwaukee.
Welcome back to Positively Milwaukee. School is out and summer has kids enjoying the outdoors, but for many teens it means working. And this week we wanted to ask you about your most memorable summer job.
Working at a bike shop, especially during COVID last year. Just the crew we were working with, it was a crazy kind of do or die, and a lot of times we're like, oh my gosh, we gotta get this done, and then at the end of the day, shoot, we're just a bike shop. Like, how are we handling this much customer, you know?
When I worked for a gardening company, and we did some work along the homes on the North Shore. That was nice. I got to be out in the sun and get a little exercise.
I never had one. I golfed. I was an amateur golfer, that's it.
I worked one summer at Harley-Davidson. Did a lot of different jobs on the assembly line, and I learned a lot. But it was hard work.
I was like dishwasher, you know, in my college time. And I did a dishwashing for like 2.5 months of work. Well, it's okay, you know, it just makes some money. At that time when I was young, pretty much doing everything for a little money here and there. Now I'm retired, so I can do pretty much everything, anything that I want.
Well, good for you. Now, my first summer job was as a piano teacher. I actually traveled to people's homes to give kids lessons. I did put one ad in the local paper and got a few families, but the rest of my clients were by word of mouth, and I never had to advertise again. You can share your most memorable summer job on our Positively Milwaukee Facebook group. If you do have a question you'd like us to ask, feel free to let us know. Communing with nature, a way to connect with your inner thoughts. A forest in our area is one of our reasons to smile this week. The Muskego Park Hardwoods in Waukesha County has been inducted into the Old Growth Forest Network. Now, this area is filled with rare 100-year-old trees, white and red oaks, and large sugar maples. Muskego Park is only the second old-growth forest site in Wisconsin. The goal is to create a network of protected nature forests that are native and accessible to the public. And a woman in our area wants you to go outside and grab a book. Barbara Serta, also known as Barbie the Book Fairy, is building little free libraries across Milwaukee. Now, before she started this, she donated more than 10,000 books to other little free libraries in the city. 30 people have actually asked Barbie to build libraries for them. She picked 10. Her goal, simply to make the community a better place. Nice gesture. What's blue and white and seen all over the world? Well, of course, Smurfs. Gerda Scheuer of Ripon has won 2 Guinness World Record plaques for her collection, more than 11,000 individual pieces. Gerda says she started to collect when she caught her brother chewing on one of her Smurf toys and says she just didn't want him breaking her stuff. Gotta like that reason. We Energy is looking for an impossibly cute dog to help in a safety campaign. This ambassador dog will remind people to call 811 before digging for a garden, fence, or outdoor project. Your pooch could be the face of a campaign that would prevent people from hitting buried gas or electrical lines. Once finalists are narrowed down, you can vote on the ultimate winner. May the best dog win. I'm going to be back with my quote of the week. Don't go away. Welcome back to Positively Milwaukee. Never find your delight in another's misfortune. Our quote of the week comes from Publilius Syrus. Syrus became famous for his one-line moral maxims. The lesson here, focus on our own lives and what we can control to make our own happiness. It doesn't help to try and tear someone down. Instead, build yourself up. Even better, help others along the way. And as always, stay positively Milwaukee. Thank you for joining us.